All right, we're getting in some tranny lines. We got these ones that are just kind of all over the place, which, you know, for the most part, it'll be fine. But they're in our way here. So I picked up a couple more seals. Actually, you get the whole deal with the seals and the clips. Anyway, these two lines, there we go. We got to pull a little retaining snap ring out of there, pull these two lines out, then we'll either be straightening them out or making new ones. And yeah, just help follow the line of the truck, get it away from the exhaust right here. All right, got these guys out of here, and I got these little holder boys, plastics to help keep the retaining clips in. You can just pop those off, and you can see the kind of crimp that's on there. And we got a tool that can also make our own crimps. So we're going to make up some tranny lines, I think. And we got these guys out of here without too much, couple of drops, so that's good. Now we're gonna use a nice little thin piece of wire, kind of like this piece of steel wire or something, and we're gonna bend it in the shape that gives us roughly what we want. All right, I hate to pause the cattle decapitation, but here we go. Like, this guy will fit up here into there, come out, do a little 90, come down in a like three-dimensional sort of angle, kind of come from there down to here, where it'll be able to bend under. It won't be in the way of our starter bolts. And yeah, we want the starter to kind of drop out, but it kind of comes back anyway and can come out the side a little. So there's still plenty of room to operate on this. Plus you'll still have access to the terminals. So when I'm making up something, I'm like looking at how it's gonna be to work on. You know, you don't want to be broke and pain in the ass in it. So it'll just go up, and then it'll kind of flow underneath the starter a little bit towards the block, and then down the side of the block, between that space over there between the motor mount and the block. So that should get us, you know, 90% of the way there with some, I'll have to see where it sticks out in the front, and we'll just make the first one, and then the second one's just gonna kind of follow it, you know, on the best position it can. Then we can see, looking down from the top, we know that's not where exactly we want. It's going to be closer to the block, but you can see that wire is ending up right about there. Okay, now we're going to take these lines, and we're going to set those on the side. We got our template here, and remember, this also has to be able to come in and out of the rig, so you can't have too many bends on it where you can't like slide it up in there and hook it up, right? I'm going to take this steel line and I am going to straighten it out by holding it down and bending it. Down. Got a little elbow there, and then I bend it down. I just kind of bend it along. We're about right here. It's pretty good. Need another foot or so. I'll just roll that out like that. This is steel line here. So we still got a little arch in it, but I think I can work that out. So if we're going there, there, we got here, we'll just cut it off over here. So that'll be just fine. Put a little extra on it. Just gonna use a tubing cutter here. It's not the best tubing cutter that comes with this massive tubing cutter, but it should work. It should take a long time. It'll be awesome. Alright. We can always speed this part up. Take this thing out. And we're planning to clean this and flush it of debris before we put it on. Deburr it. We're gonna put a bubble at this end for the hose to slip over. Okay. Then I just go ahead and deburr this thing. We try not to get it all up in the line. All right, now we got our line halfway stretched out, flattened out. You can't afford one of them flattening tools. Jesus, they want $1 million for those. Probably build one. The damn flaring tool was, you know how it goes. Good tool. All right. We're not building a SEMA car, so this will have to work. You know, it's still got a little wobble to it. Little wobble, but wobble. Okay, so that's a lot better than that mess over here, right? We got this, lots of mess. Okay, so we're gonna take this, and if I screw this piece up, I'll make another one. But we're gonna have a line right there with a bend. I got a couple different tools to bend with. I've got these things to bend with. They actually do a pretty good job. I also have one of these tools, not the best. And then I have this goofy thing. And I hope it can do steel lines. Anyway, 3/8. I don't know how much tubing it actually needs to bend. Let me put it all together here. 3/8. Because I used to do refrigeration. Kind of getting away from it now. I'm not really interested in it anymore. It doesn't pay for what you gotta know, so somebody else can do it. All right, just put this guy in here. Now I don't know if this is going to be too far away. We'll have to see where it sits. This is not our first, let's see. If you had some extra, you could cut it off, certainly. We go somewhere like that. The middle of the bend. Where's the release on this bad boy? Come on, sir. There we go. Now we have a nice bend right there with the thingy coming out. We effectively made that part. And it's going to come down. That's what we started with. Now we got a little bit more of a nice little line. This should end up by the radiator. Let's find out. All right, let's see where we ended up here. So you can see our pipe down there, and I put a mark on it right around that spot if I move my arm. And I'm gonna put a bubble right there to put the hose onto, and that's where I'm gonna end it. And then that I'm gonna make a bracket from there, that pipe up to the those two holes that usually hold the AC compressor. So it'll have a little bit of stability there, and we'll make a little bracket and we'll put that in. And the reason to put that right there is because, as you can see all the way down to the floor, and you can get your hand up in there to undo a pipe clamp. So we'll do a pipe clamp right there, and that'll be a good place also. You know, basically the engine's gonna rotate around the engine mounts, you know, for the most part, if they move at all. And these are urethane, so I don't want a length of steel doing a bend like this and then having this part do this. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm just gonna terminate it sticking out close to where it hooks to the engine. Then it'll be a rubber hose with a decent enough length to soak up the vibration to go to the tranny cooler without hurting it. So we're gonna go. So that's what we got for a line now. It just flows kind of straight out of the transmission right there, kind of swoops down. We got a good solid amount away from the header now, and then it just ducks. It just whizzes by it and ducks down along the engine. It's gonna get tucked and pulled up a little more when we get our clamps on. Yeah, so we'll hook up some supports and get this all in place and get it like fully formed, and then I'll bend the other one up. Yeah, it worked out pretty good. That's a lot smoother little line, and you know, if this works, this works. I'm not gonna tell you that this don't work, and I'm not gonna tell you not to use it, because that just, you know, everybody does it different, and you could probably loop these around, and you can make a long enough coil of it. You could probably have your own tranny cooler built out of a coil of steel tubing. So, you know, go get you some. All right, here's what how these fittings go together. Here's our little fitting at the other end of the tube there for our hose, or you could use the GM connectors. And then we got this one here. But anyway, this is the fitting that's inside the transmission. You see it's got like a rubber black seal there, and that just slides over that nipple. And then show you here, I can hold this down without flipping it all over, you know. Then you got this, you know, it goes in the tranny, slides over, nice fit, right? And easy, what a mess. Okay, well, nothing's gonna put it. Oh yeah, I was dropped the phone too. Alright, hold on a minute. Let's try this some more here. Alright, so anyway, there's the line in the fitting, and then this ring snaps on like around, and there's a little groove right there. This snaps in there. You know, it may be under one of these covers that slips over the top of the pipe. So you'd slide this back, you'd pull out that little snap ring, retainer ring, and then after you get that out, you can pull the pipe out of the fitting. And it might be a little tight, but that's good, because there's just a little rubber seal in there, just so, right where the shadow ends. Yeah. I should also say that when you're trying to put that fitting, alright, that wants to slide out of my control here constantly. If you're going to put it in the transmission, if you put the little retaining ring in there already, then this will go in and then just push past it and snap in. So you don't have to try to put that on second. You can just put it on, and then you can make sure that that lip gets back up in there. got our silly bracket there, little T-shaped looking thing with a hook on the end, and yeah, got it holding our line down there, and it goes right, it's nice and straight and runs right along. We'll check underneath the truck. It took a little longer than I anticipated, but it flows good underneath the rig into its home. So it's our new tranny line, and it's got clearance around everything, and the other one's just gonna go right beneath it. So I'll bend that up and get it put in place.